welcome, if you're joining me online, welcome in the centre. Beautiful new faces, familiar faces, older faces, welcome faces too. Tea with Mo lectures on non-duality. Try to bring to this space experiences that are current definitely in my life, and from the Law of One teachings, we come here to learn, teach, learn, and we all have this wonderful opportunity of doing that. And we're all having our own unique experience of consciousness, which allows that data to be fed into the larger, unlocalized form of consciousness, one known as Prime Creator, the one that everything is, in a sense, held in. So tonight we're going to talk about, and we're going to revisit a conversation that I had probably maybe about a year ago, and it sparked, and it was quite controversial at the time because it was based upon conspiracy theory, which I find really interesting. Is the difference between conspiracy theory and conspiracy reality is about 6 months. The conversation that we had was the Great Reset versus the Great Awakening, and so I just wanted to revisit that today and look at what has happened in that period of time, and how, in a sense, the Great Reset has, which has been driven by the World Economic Forum. Klaus Schwab is the president of that, and quite front and centre with his vision of how the world could be created in a particular way. So it's the tale of two timelines. There's the Great Reset, which really more so pushes us towards transhumanism, and then we've got the Great Awakening, which is more so based upon your own sovereignty, your own spiritual sovereignty, recognising that you are the creator of your own reality, and that you've chosen to come to this plane of existence, and this human experience is a multi-dimensional experience. It's a beautiful opportunity as soul, as consciousness, to reside in a human body and create its reality through frequency, and the most intense frequency being emotion. So there's this one path of the Great Awakening, which is this, I like to look at it as an organic, transcendent path of divinity and recognising your own divinity. And then there's this Great Reset, which is a path which is based upon transhumanism and being driven by what we could call the world elite, people with a lot of money, potentially lots of agendas, and in the guise of we will protect you and we will help you. Because you can't help yourself and you can't protect yourself. Ali, can I have a look at that transhumanism? So we just want to talk about the Great Reset initially first. And it's more so based upon transhumanism. So this is, and I've got it in the original post. This is Wikipedia, so we're taking this off the internet. And I did check a couple of other sources, and it's very similar. Now, this isn't the full explanation, but what I've got to share with you today, which sort of gives you an idea of where this is coming from and what it's based upon. So I'm always looking at what platform are you creating from? Are you creating it from fear, or are you creating it from hope? Yeah. So do I need to create from this space of fear so I can feel safe? Or am I already feeling safe because I am safe, I am held, I am nurtured, and I'm creating from that space? They're two different spaces to create, and two different experiences that will be had. Now, in saying that from a non-dual lens, either experience has the same value. Where are you going to go? Go and experience that, or go and experience that. Totally up to you. Fill your boots. Yeah. So transhumanism. It's a philosophical and intellectual movement which advocates the enhancement of the human condition by developing and making widely available sophisticated technologies that can greatly enhance longevity and cognition. So it's adding, they're saying it's adding to you, yeah, as the human. So we're going to add technology to make you better. Okay? Because apparently there's something wrong with you. Transhumanism thinkers study the potential benefits and dangers, it's good that they've got dangers, of emerging technologies, AI, that could overcome fundamental human limitations. So now the human is limited, as well as the ethics of using such technologies. And I hope they are looking into the ethics, because the way that it's moving, I don't think that they are. Some transhumanists believe that human beings may eventually be able to transform themselves into beings with abilities so greatly expanded from the current condition as to merit the label of post-human beings. Now, I totally agree with that last comment. I think we can do it without technology. I think we're already doing it. So it's interesting that this is something that then is being pushed and promoted. And the last bit, it says, another topic of transhumanist research is how to protect humanity against existential risks such as nuclear war or asteroid collision. I just find it interesting that, hey, let's throw asteroid collision into the Wikipedia on the third paragraph of this, especially when we've got the DART, NASA with their DART project, where just recently a big rocket, not that they just shot it off the other day, but just recently a rocket was sent into orbit or into space to go and see if it can hit an asteroid, to see what it would do. You know? Because if it can do it, then they can protect us from asteroids colliding with us. Thank you. Thank you, the world government. I really appreciate that. So I just find the interesting narrative that sits around this. Now, this transhumanism movement is really being pushed by the Great Reset. The Great Reset is has been developed by the World Economic Forum. They talk about 2030 as the time to have this Great Reset done by. One of their taglines, and you may have seen it in one of the pictures I've shared, which comes off their website, is that you will own nothing and be happy. So what it's suggesting is that life will be subscription-based. And we're already seeing that. Not too many of us go out and buy CDs anymore, or DVDs. We're subscribing to Netflix, Prime, Foxtel. We have Spotify. So see how we're already moving in that direction. It's subscription-based, and we can sort of see that, okay, well, that makes sense. That makes my life a bit more convenient. I've got this this range of things that I can then choose from. And they're also starting to move into subscription-based rental as well. Okay? So lots of properties are being bought up and by huge companies, big companies, and then they're renting them out on a subscription base. You can then rent a room for a month. So this is how it's starting to move towards that as well too. Along with this is that you'll own nothing and be happy, is that there is a sense that there'll be a UBS, which is Universal Basic Salary, I think, Universal Basic Salary. And we can sort of see how this is happening as our economy is starting to collapse all around us. Inflation's increasing. The US Federal Reserve has printed more money in the past 2 years than it had in the past 100 years. So as you're doing that, you're ultimately going to decrease the value of the US dollar. Most of our currencies, and when we're purchasing things all around the world, it's based on the US dollar. So the US dollar is collapsing. So we're starting to see an economic collapse. Now, you need to look beyond Channel 7, Channel 9, and the morning show to find this information, because that information that is shared on these mainstream television programs is to keep you asleep. All right, so we need to look beyond that. And as we look beyond it, we then start to see that farmers are being paid not to farm. The Dutch farmers have been, I won't say they're revolting, because they're not revolting, they have been revolting, because the government has said to them that the fertiliser that you have been using, that we have told you to be using over the past 5 to 10 years, is no longer good for the environment. So now it's going to cost you actually more money to farm, so your profit margins will then start to decrease. So they're being paid not to farm. Many places in America, farmers have been paid to burn their crops. So we're starting to see that the Great Reset is a very well orchestrated movement of transhumanism, because what they want to do is that they want to replace the human with AI technology. We're already starting to see on Amazon and by Jeff Bezos, by Elon Musk, chips that you can implant into your systems that, you can just, it's like PayWave, now I can just use my chip there, but that chip, microchip, has got all of your information on it, all of your data on it, okay? The World Economic Forum say that we have the fourth industrial revolution and it is based on data. Okay? Data is so important, and just recently we've seen the Optus hacks, which I just find a beautiful joke in how that occurred. Oh, we left the door open and a hacker just came walking past, noticed that it was open, now it's going to download all this information. And then it releases 10,250 units of information and says, oh, sorry, I've changed my heart. So just listen to the narrative, notice what's going on. As a part of this Great Reset, this transhumanism movement is connecting you to AI, and with the WEF, I think there's about 10 points that they want to talk about, and one of them is that you won't have to phone an Uber to be picked up because there's a thing called Neuralink. So Neuralink is a chip that is embedded in the base of the spine, which then allows all data from consciousness to be uploaded into a mainframe. So all you need to do is think that I need an Uber, and it will then appear. So this is what the WEF, this is what Elon Musk is wanting to do. Neuralink comes from Elon Musk. So what they're trying to do is they're saying, hey, we want to have a hive consciousness, which is interesting because when we listen to the law of one, we have this spirit-mind-body complex, and then when we start to move into the higher dimensions, it's then called the collective consciousness, social memory complex, yes. So see how this transhumanism movement is trying to replicate what we actually have the ability to do. Now, when we have the ability to do it, it's coming from its own source, which is connected to the larger source. And there's a beautiful freedom and sovereignty that moves with that, because there's this awakening process that we all have. The transhumanism part of it is that, hey, we will awaken you, we will connect you, and we will care for you because you can't care for yourself. And look at you as a human being, you've got so many limitations. Now, it's interesting because there will be a group of people, large groups of people, that will go, hey, thank you, transhumanism, I'd like to be a part of that. Go and stick something in me. I want to be able to, move through the shops a lot quicker. I want to be able to be hooked up to the accumulative consciousness of the AI. And that's okay. That really is okay. If you don't want to go and hop on that train, then there's another thing called the Great Awakening. And that's what we're about. The Great Awakening is you remembering you remembering your own divinity. What's going on the planet and within the cosmos at the moment is the veil of forgetting is lifting. You are remembering. It's thinning. You're able to connect into source. You're able to connect into your guides. You're able to connect into your point of origin. And I'll talk about starseeds briefly soon when we, as I'm moving through this. So this Great Awakening is you as consciousness in this human body starting to recognize that you are a multidimensional being, that you can transcend time through the inner planes. And here at the Meditation Centre, we have many forms of meditation, breathwork being one of them, mantra meditation, even kirtan meditation, guided meditation, all about going within. And when you start to go in and you open up and you expand the heart, that's where the universe is. The universe isn't out there. That's a reflection of what's in here. The challenge that we face upon this earth plane, and for many thousands of years, is that we've been sold a narrative that keeps you dumbed down, that keeps you asleep, and keeps you into a certain frequency. That frequency is based around the reptilian mind. It's safety and survival, it's fight or flight, or freeze. This is the way that this, in a sense, matrix has been created. The Great Awakening is awakening to the matrix. And then considering, wow, maybe I don't need to do this. Maybe I can look for information elsewhere. Maybe I can listen inward. Maybe I can connect to things that I've been told that I can't connect to. Now, for the transhumanist, this Great Awakening is a great threat. Because if you recognise your own divinity, if you start to remember, then you cannot be controlled. Transhumanism is about controlling. As much as they say it's about enhancing the cognitive abilities and decreasing the limitations that the human has, they're straight away telling you that you are limited. There has been so much trauma that has been delivered to us within our narratives that we think that we are broken. So when we then start to see beyond those illusions, the illusion of the lies there, the illusion of the, in a sense, the brainwashing, the illusion of the television, then we then start to go inward and then start to recognise, holy crap, there is so much more to me than what meets the eye. And when you then start to recognise that you are the creator of your own reality, the way that this system is created is through frequency modulation, and the frequency that we create our reality is based upon our emotion, you then start to recognise who is in control of my emotion. Who am I giving my control to around my emotional states? And if I leave it to the mainstream narrative, you are kept in the lower frequencies. When you start to recognise that you are more than this, you can then start to vibe higher. And as we then start to vibe higher, we then start to hold that state. Now, I've been talking a lot about IFS recently. We talk about self-energy, we talk about parts energy. Parts energy come from a place of threat, low vibration. Self-energy comes from a place of no threat. I am safe, I am held, I am one, I am everything. I am love, I am compassion, I am clear, I am calm, I am connected. When you start to come from that space, it's no threat. And imagine creating from that space versus creating from parts space. Once again, neither one is good nor bad or better or worse. They're just going to give you different experiences. If you recognise that you've got the choice, then you might then want to experience what it feels like to come from self, what it feels like to create from that space, because that's a totally different world. Now, the beautiful opportunity here, and I want to talk about starseeds very, very quickly, is that a starseed is an individual unit of consciousness that has a point of origin that is off-planet. It has chosen and agreed to come into this incarnation upon this planet, maybe of a lower density, to have a particular reason and a particular purpose. It's a light worker. It shows light. It's a beacon of light. It vibes high. There's many light workers in this room. There's many light workers tapping into this video at the moment, because this is a place where you can feel at home. You're returning home. You're remembering. When you come here with an agreement, and that agreement is to get lost and then hopefully remember how to get found and claw your way back out of the mud and go, oh, that's right, I am the lotus, thank you, mud. and then shine that light. And as you shine that light, you shine it and you share it with others. The beautiful thing is that as we come into this, we needed to work from the inside out, because light is data. So data is everything that creates this whole universe. The particular universe that we are in at the moment, or this solar system and this Earth planet that we're in, it sits in a very much a 3D reality. That 3D reality is encapsulated through a matrix, and that matrix tries to keep you in that space. As we come in as starseeds and we start to shine our light and we start to recognize other starseeds as we're moving through life, we then see that light. Now, when you see that light, you will then start to resonate. When you start to resonate, you go, something about this person. I can see the light within this. I can feel the light within this. And when you meet another light worker, you will then amplify your own experience. You'll be able to tap into things that you haven't been able to tap into on yourself or by yourself. The beautiful thing about this centre is that we invite light workers to come here and sit with each other, to allow them to be connected to their guides, allow them to be connected to higher self, and then to receive that information, allow them to shine their inner light, allow them and their parts to feel safe, that they can share anything that they need to share, and they will be held. I'll talk about light workers and starseeds, I think, another time. I just want to, and I'm very mindful of the time here, is that these two timelines, the Great Reset, Transhumanism, the Great Awakening, the organic divinity awakening that you have chosen to come here for at this particular time. Now, we have got front row seats to the grand final. That's what this is. All right? We put up our hands. We went, holy crap, there's a lot of shit going down on that planet there, and they need our help. And I'm going to step into that. I'm going to put my hand up. I'm going to make an agreement. I'm going to go in. I'm going to get lost. And I just hope that there's going to be enough around me, enough light workers around me, that they will remind me at particular times. We are in the final leg of this race at the moment. The WEF, the Great Reset, they tried to get it over the line by 2030. And the reason why 2030 is such a significant time is that there is a project called Project Looking Glass. And Project Looking Glass showed timelines. This was alien technology, it showed timelines, and what happened was that by 2030 there was a point of singularity. No matter what you tried to do, it would bring you to this point of singularity, 2030. The WEF, let's call them the elites, or the ones that sit behind the elites, the shadow government, we could even call it nefarious alien entities running this, and now I may have lost some people, but that's okay, because I'm here. They know that this point of singularity is about to occur. So the transhumanism timeline and pathway needed to be created to try to get as many humans into transhumanism, to hack into their system, to control their system, rather than having this organic awakening process. So how is it going to happen? From many points of reference, we talk about solar flares. We talk about the Schumann resonance. The Schumann resonance is off the charts. It's been off the charts for the last 5 years. We have lots of photons of light coming onto the planet at the moment. Our Earth, our solar system, is actually moving through a photon belt. This is a cosmic photon belt that happens every 45,000 years. Astronauts from NASA have been sent out into the photon belt, and what they noticed was that the base essence of what the astronaut felt got enhanced. So some astronauts who went into the photon belt, who were full of gratitude and compassion and love, became even more compassionate and loving. and so much more gratitude. What they found was the other astronauts who were a little bit more fear-based, a little bit more paranoid, a bit more worried, they became more worried. They became more fear-based. So these photon belts, these photons of light, increase what you are. So many solar flares are happening, and the point, this point of singularity 2030 will be a series of solar flares. Now, you're not going to find this information on Channel 9 News. Okay? You've got to go looking for it, and then you're going to find it. There's also other information that our poles are shifting. So since 1815, our North Pole has been shifting, and it's been shifting at a rate of 5 miles per year. Right, so they've been tracking it. In the past 6 months, our poles have been shifting 3 kilometres per day. Okay. Now, when the pole shifts to a certain point, it will then get to a point of no return, and then it resets. Okay. There is so much going on this planet right now that is not in mainstream news that if you're not looking, you will just be led down the garden path into transhumanism. I'm here to wake you up, because that's what I agreed to do, at all costs. Let's go down the path of the Great Awakening, because everyone in this room knows it. Yeah? And even if they don't know that divinity within themselves, they know that they can smell a rat. Yeah? So just come with me. Come for a walk. Walk alongside me with that. Now, mindful of time. What can I do? I've got 5 things that you can do that can help this. Yeah? 1 is sun gazing. In the morning. Best in the morning, not middle of the day, especially here in Townsville where it's like, oh my God, I've got sunstroke. In the morning, just as that sun's, take the glasses off, just allow that sun to meet you. Because you know what that's information. That's downloads. Those filaments, they're coming in, they're rewiring our DNA structure. They're giving us information. There's so much information at the moment that is just coming from the sun. Just sun gazing. Give yourself about 10 minutes. Don't stare at it for 10 minutes, but just give yourself 10 seconds, 30 seconds if you can. Even if you just have to drop the gaze a bit. But just feel it. Just feel it. Meet the sun in the morning. That's sun gazing. Yeah? Grounding, so earthing. Yeah? As you're going out there and you're sun gazing, no shoes, feel the earth. Yeah? Where you can, walk barefoot. Even if it's on concrete, you're still connected. All right? So it's about this connection to the earth. As much as we're getting information from the sun and it's coming in that way, we're getting information from the earth as well. It's a beautiful two-way thing. Vibing high. All right? So we want to stay on a high vibrationary rate. How do we do that? Gratitude and appreciation. Really, honestly. Not that hard. Yeah? Grateful for discomfort. So if discomfort's placed upon your path, hey, how can I be grateful for this? How is this a gift? Where's the opportunity? What's this going to show me? What can I learn from it? Thank you. Thank you, discomfort. Yeah? So vibing high within that. Yeah? Create from emotional frequency. So as we're vibing high, then we create from that space. Yeah? Start to recognise what is your most prominent and dominant thoughts and emotions and the frequency that you're emitting each and every day. Yeah? If you start to notice yourself shifting into the lower states, notice yourself. Oh wow, I've noticed I've got a state shift here. This is interesting. Start to recognise it. Some of the stuff that we've been doing with IFS, I've got a part here. This is interesting. I just want to validate that part. Start to notice that part and the energy that comes from it start to dissipate. So here's this loving conversation that you're having with self. You're not going to go through the day, just meditating and levitating everywhere in this vibe high. You're going to go into the mud. No mud, no lotus. Yeah? Notice when you're in the mud. Notice when you think you're stuck in the mud. And then remember, you came here to play in the mud. Like a pig in mud. Get into it, because emotions are something that higher states of frequency don't have. So if we start to look at 5D, so we're in 3D, we're probably in actually 4D. Yeah? If we're moving to 5D, if we're talking about the ascension process, we're talking about moving higher. The interesting thing is that in 5D, when you create, when you manifest from your thoughts. You don't manifest from your emotions. In 3D, you manifest from your emotions. The beautiful thing here is that when we manifest from our emotions, there are consideration for what we're manifesting on how it impacts others, because we feel the emotion. What we are doing is we're showing, because we're moving into a 5D, we're actually bringing emotions into a fifth dimension. And we're introducing a fifth dimensional being to creating from thoughts and emotions, not just thought. This is another conversation that I want to share with you at another time. And the last thing, and probably the most powerful thing, and I've sort of spoken about this, is kindness, compassion, and gratitude. Just hold that. Kindness, compassion, and gratitude. If we can do that to others, beautiful. The true indicator of that, doing it to self. Yeah? No good just doing it to others, because then there's an incongruency. There's hypocrisy. If you can only do it to others, you can't do it to yourself, whoa, that's the stuff that you need to work on. So they're the 5 things. 606, beautiful. All right, so I just want to acknowledge that. Now, also, from a non-dual lens, here we are, we've got this dualistic lens. A non-dual lens is that we have chosen to be here at this particular time with all of this stuff that's going on. We've got these front row seats to the grand final of this cosmic reset that's actually happening, and we are a part of it. You are making history by being here now. This is so powerful. So powerful to be here now. It might feel like shit. There might be a lot of chaos that's going to happen. It already is happening. But just know that you are here, you are held. You are eternal. And you signed up for this experience. So just pat yourself on the back. Just honour yourself as I want to honour you all now for being here. And knowing that you are here eases me. It eases my heart. It settles my heart, because I'm not doing this alone. I'm part of a community of light workers, a community of human beings that have an open-heartedness. And in this moment, I could not ask for anything more. So, I'm just going to end that session now. If there's any questions, quite happy to open that up. I don't know if there's anything online there. Everyone's got